Hello students, in this video I am starting this video with a very interesting question that you normally encounter in your daily life. Let's see. Ali wants to tile his kitchen floor with square tiles of the largest possible size in such a way that there is no leftover space. Just assume that you want to tile your kitchen floor, and when you tile it, you have normally witnessed that there is a space and you have to cut the tile to paste to cover that particular space. So but Ali wants to use that size of the tile which is largest possible without any space in any side of the kitchen. How he can find? Well, the size of his kitchen is 144 by 120 inches. So can you help Ali for selecting the right size of the tile which is largest possible? Maybe you are not, but after this video you will definitely. Let's start this video on this topic now. Okay, the very basic question that you can easily answer is that find factors of 30. Can you find its factor? Yes, you can easily find factors of 30. For example, 1 and 30, these are two factors because 1 can divide 30 and we get 30. So 1 and 30 are two factors of 30. Similarly, we can divide 30 with 2 and the quotient is 15. So 2 and 15 are also divisor of 30, so they are also factor of it. The next we have 3 and 10. The next we have 5 and 6. So you can see all of these numbers are the factors of 30 because they all can exactly divide 30, right? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15 and 30. So these all are factors of 30. You have already learned this. Now let me ask you a different question. What is the greatest common factor of 12 and 30? Well, you might not have listened this word before, but if you observe the letters used in this, you can easily find out it. Let me start with the last word, which is factor. So first you need to find the factor of 12 and 30. And we have already found the factor of 30, so we are using it. Right? Now we need to find the factor of 12. So the factor of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. How do we know that? Because we know that all of these numbers can exactly divide 12. Right? So these are the factors of 12. So far we have find the factors of 30 and factors of 12. Now what is the next word we have? We have common. Common means the factors which are common in both of these numbers, 30 and 12. So let's highlight the common factors. You can see 2 is common in both of these numbers. The next, the 3 is also a common factor of 30 and 12, and also 6. So you can see that we have found so far common factors of 30 and 12. Now what is the first letter in this greatest common factor? Is greatest. Greatest means we need to highlight the common factor which is the largest one. So among 2, 3 and 6, you can easily say that 6 is the greatest one. So the greatest common factor of 12 and 30 is simply 6, right? So if you just look at the name of it, greatest common factor, you can easily find it, right? And we can also make a definition after understanding this concept, which is the highest whole number which divides all the given numbers. Like we have 12 and 30, so 6 is the greatest whole number possible which can divide 30 and 12 both, right? So this is the definition of GCF, or greatest common factor. Now let's see another example of it. Okay, I would suggest you to please pause this video and try to solve it yourself first. Then play this video to see for the solution. What is the greatest common factor GCF of 16 and 40? Great. I hope you have done this very easily. Starting with factor, so the factor of 16 are 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and the factors of 40 are 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 20 and 40. Right? So we have so far written factors of both numbers. Next we need to highlight the common factors. So let's start finding the common ones. 2 is common, 4 is common and 8 is the common. Right? So these are the common factors of 16 and 14. Last we need to pick the greatest common factor. So we can easily pick 8 is the greatest one. Right? So we can see that GCF of 16 and 40 is simply 8. Okay, so I hope you have easily understood the concept of greatest common factor and how we can find it. But what if I give you this question? What is the greatest common factor of 60 and 100? You can easily do this by listing all the factors like this. But as the numbers are getting larger, you will see that there are so many factors and it is difficult for us to write all the factors like here we have. Okay, so how we can do it very smartly? Let me introduce with you another method of finding GCF or greatest common factor, which is division method. It is the same as you divide numbers. Let me show this. First we make lines like this and we write all the numbers like 60 and 100 here. Now we need to pick the prime numbers. So just to help you out, I have written the starting 5 prime numbers on the right side of my screen. 2, 3, 5, 7 and 11. Now we need to divide both the numbers using the prime numbers we have. So first we will start with the very smallest prime number, which is 2. So first we have to look at whether 2 can divide both the numbers 60 and 100. Yes, both of these numbers have 0 in units place. That means they both are divisible of 2. Right? So let me write 2 here and then divide 60 and 100 by this. Right? So if we divide 60 by 2, so we will get easily 30. And then we divide 100 by the same number 2, so we get 50. Clear? Next we again have two numbers 30 and 50, and again we start dividing them using the prime numbers we have. So again we start with the smallest prime number, which is 2, and again both the numbers can be divided easily with 2, so we are picking 2, writing 2 here and dividing 30 and 50 by this. Right? So dividing 30 by 2 gives us 15, and when we divide 50 by 2 we get 25. Right? So again we have 15 and 25, so we keep on dividing until we do not have any number which can divide both the numbers. Okay, now let's again see which number can divide both of these numbers, 15 and 25. So whether 2 can divide both of these numbers? No, 2 cannot divide 15 nor 25. So we cannot use 2. Okay, moving to the next prime number possible, which is 3. Can we use 3? We can divide 15 by 3. So should we use this? No. Why not? Because we can divide 15 but we cannot divide 25. And we have to only select the prime numbers which can divide all the numbers 25 and 15. So moving to the next prime number we have, which is 5. Yes, 5 is the right number because we can divide 15 and 25 both using 5. So let's do this. When we divide 15 by 5 we get 3, and when we get divide 25 by 5 we get 5. So now we have got two prime numbers 3 and 5. That means they both cannot be divided by a single number. So we have to stop here. Right? And on this side of the screen we have got common prime factors. because we used prime numbers to divide them. So since they are dividing, so they are factors. Using prime numbers, so they are prime factors. And since we used only the number that can divide both of these numbers, so this is common also. So here we have got common prime factors. Now what we need to do to find greatest common factor? We simply need to find the product of common prime factors. That means we will multiply 2, 2 and 5. So you can do this simple multiplication by 20. Right? So the product of 2, 2 and 5 is 20, which is indeed the greatest common factor of 60 and 100. So using this method, you can easily find the greatest common factor of even larger numbers without exactly listing all the factors of those numbers. Okay, so let's try. Now you have understood what is GCF. Now coming back to the question which we started video with. Right, this question. So now we can solve this question very easily using greatest common factor. Right, we will find greatest common factor of these two numbers, 144 and 120, and we have already discussed how GCF is found. So let's repeat the process again. First we write the prime numbers so that we can easily pick them. Right, it is not necessary. If you can remember prime numbers, you can avoid writing it on the right side of your copy. Okay, now let's start dividing these numbers. So starting with the smallest prime number, which is 2, and we know that both of these numbers are divisible by 2 because they have even number on their unit places, so that means they are divisible by 2. So taking 2 here, and now one by one dividing 144 and 120 by 2. Right, okay, when we divide 144 by 2, we get 72, and when we divide 120 by 2, we get 60. Make sure you are good with division. If you are not, you can practice on IXL on division skills first. Okay, next again we need to divide these two numbers. Again we start with the smallest prime number, and 72 and 60 is also divisible by 2. So taking 2 here and dividing them by 2. Okay, when we divide 72 by 2, the quotient is 36, and when we divide 60, the quotient is simply 30. Great. Next, again we divide these two numbers. Start with the smallest prime number 2, and 36 and 30, both the numbers are divisible by 2 again. So we take 2 again from here and divide 36 and 30 by this. Dividing 36 by 2 gives us 18, and when we divide 30, the quotient is simply 15. Great. Okay, again 18 and 15 can be further divided with a single number. Let's see. Okay, starting with the smallest prime number 2, can we use 2 here? No. Why not? Because 15 is not divisible by 2, and for GCF we only select the prime numbers which can divide all the numbers, like 18 and 15, both the numbers should be divisible of that number. So moving to the next prime number, which is 3, and we know that 18 and 15 both are divisible by 3. You can sum its digit and you can apply divisibility to make your work further easier. Okay, writing 3 here and dividing 18 and 15 by 3. Okay, so starting with 18, when we divide 18 by 3, we get simply 6, and when 15 is divided by 3, the answer simply is 5. Okay, now we have got 6 and 5, and we know 5 is a prime number, and we cannot divide 6 and 5 further with any single number, so we have to stop here. Now to find GCF, what we simply do, we simply find the product of all of these common factors, 2, 2, 2 and 3. So what is the product of these four numbers? 2 times 2 equals 4, 4 times 2 equals 8, and 8 times 3 equals 24. That means GCF of 144 and 120 is 24. That means Ali can use a tile of 24 by 24 inches or 2 feet by 2 feet. So his whole area, his whole kitchen will be covered without any leftover space. Here in this last of this video, I would like to discuss why we are finding GCF here. If you look at the question, we are looking for a size that 144 can be exactly divided and 120 is should also be divided in that length, right? We need to look for one single number that can divide 144 and 120, right? So that number is 24. You may, so 8 is also that number which can divide both of these number. 4 is also that number, but why did we select 24? Because they were looking for the largest possible length. So 24 is the largest possible length that we can take if we want to divide this length of 144 and 120 with one number. So that's why we find GCF. Now you know where do we use GCF. Just go on iExcel and master this skill as soon as possible. In case if you have any problem, please do mention in the comment section below. I would love to reply you there. Thank you so much.